Welcome back to The Current,
the quick response news program from Jockey Club PE College,
where we report on the latest issues, events, and culture. I'm Ariel.
I'm Happy.
I'm Callista.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Samantha.
I'm Lucas.
I'm Chloe.
I'm Bella.
I'm Noel.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Avis.
I'm Phoebe.
I'm Larry.
I'm Shirley.
I'm Mr. Man.
I'm Miss Tam.
And I'm Mr. Scott.
Welcome to our final episode of our 2022 to 2023 school year.
Yay!
The world is finally getting over and moving on from the pandemic.
Whoa!
The World Health Organization declared the pandemic over.
Nice.
And the mask mandate in Hong Kong was lifted on March 1st.
Yes. Now, however, Hong Kong seems to be facing another crisis.
and we're not talking about the mass exodus of students, teachers, and everyday people from Hong Kong.
We're talking about the recent news that Hong Kong now has the lowest fertility rate in the world.
The lowest.
The worst.
The bottom.
What's the fertility rate?
Fertility rate is the average number of babies born to a woman over a lifetime.
How many babies women are having on average?
Babies.
Babies!
In Hong Kong, the average woman is now only having 0.8 babies in her lifetime. In Japan, 1.3 babies.
China 1.2.
Singapore 1.0.
And Korea, 0.9.
This is an amazing statistic because, well, for a developing country to be considered healthy,
It should be 2.1 per woman. 2.1.
2.1.
2.1.
Why? Because 2.1 means a population in a given area can remain stable. With 2.1, the traditional man and wife reproduce themselves and more.
Under 2.1 babies per woman means a declining population.
Not good. Nope, not good at all.
Hong Kong now has the fewest babies in the world per woman. Here's a chart showing how we got here.
We're already seeing this impact Hong Kong because the recent news is all about too few students in schools.
Several schools have been closed and others have recently had to merge. And a number of schools can't have primary 1 classes, which means they too will soon face closure.
This will greatly impact society in Hong Kong.
And things will get worse in the near term. That's for sure.
Because too few babies.
But they can't close too many schools, right? It isn't actually that bad, right? But there are still babies being born, right?
How can we deal with this information and still see good?
we want to know more about this topic and see if there's hope for the future.
Because even if you don't want one, it certainly seems that most people, dare we say everyone, still loves babies, right?
So, let's do something different and talk to people who are currently facing this issue every day in their lives. Parents of new babies or very young children. Parents who are above that 0.8 and maybe approaching 2.1. And see what they think about the low fertility rate.
And a hope for the next generation, the future of Hong Kong.
First, let's meet our guests.
Hi, I'm Miss Lee. Well, I have 2 children. There are 2 boys. My oldest one is almost 8, and my younger one is 4.
Hello, I'm Solomon, and I have 2 girls. One is 3 years old, and the other one is nearly 10 years old.
Hello everyone, I'm Miss Han. So I have just 1 kid and she is 5 years old.
Hello, I'm Mr. I have 3 children and they are all grown up now. I was the happiest father and I love being a dad.
Teachers, grown-ups.
Do I enjoy parenthood? Of course. Every day when I go back home, my tiredness will just go away. Seeing them, playing with them. It's so good. My plan was always 2, but well, if there is a surprise, why not?
I enjoy motherhood so much. Having 1 kid is just perfect because I'm afraid that I don't have enough time if I have more than 1 kid.
I think 2 is the perfect number, enough for me, enough for our family.
If you ask me if 3 is enough, I would say no. I would rather have more.
Now let's cut to the chase.
What do I think of Hong Kong having the lowest fertility rate? Well, I think the most important reason is because of money and because of space. Because you see, Hong Kong has very small living environment.
I think it's a big deal. I felt shocked a few years ago.
I think it's understandable because the cost of living in Hong Kong is the highest in the world.
Well, actually, the statistics is not shocking to me at all because Hong Kong is not a friendly place for parenting. Everything is so competitive, even for children and parents.
Why do I think people don't want babies nowadays? Maybe they think Hong Kong is not an ideal place to raise children, especially because of the high-pressure learning atmosphere. In addition, they cannot see how having a baby would benefit their life.
I think maybe people want to enjoy their freedom.
I don't think they have time to make babies. And second of all, the future of Hong Kong is really uncertain.
Is it because of COVID? I'm not sure. I think some people have babies because of COVID. Some do not, so you cannot really say for certain it is because of COVID that people do not have kids.
Yes, of course, but just for short term only.
We all know people who don't want babies.
Nope.
Ideally, yes. I think I might want one or two.
I do.
Not me.
I know a ton of adults who don't want kids.
Not me. Everyone around me seems to be having babies.
Do I know people who don't want babies? Yes, of course. Actually, my brother-in-law, I don't think he is planning to have babies. And then some of my high school mates as well. Some of them, until now, were same age as me. They still have not got married, actually. That's why they do not have kids.
Sure, many of my colleagues and friends are choosing not to have children, even though they believe in marriage.
I know a lot of people who don't want babies.
Yes, a lot. And they are equally happy.
What can be done to change this trend and convince Hong Kongers to have more babies? The first thing the Hong Kong government has to do is to give more incentives to Hong Kongers, especially the parents, because having a kid, they have to spend a lot of money and they need space. And I think another thing is provide a better education. Even as a teacher myself, I don't think the education is good enough in Hong Kong.
I think it might be hard to change the minds of Hong Kongers nowadays because raising a child is really hard work.
Maybe improve the living environment and lower the living costs in Hong Kong.
I think the highly competitive culture in Hong Kong has to be changed. Stop comparing yourself with one another. Think of what you really want to be and be yourself. And then having children or not is not that a difficult decision, because it is not a competition. Just focus on building your own family.
Why should people want babies even in these difficult times? I think the most important reason is we have to keep the society going. If we do not have kids, we won't have any people who are going to do all the work. And eventually people are getting older and older, and then there will only be old people in the society. Am I saying that we have a societal obligation to have babies? Well, I kind of say yes. Because, well, we have to keep our society thriving.
Depends on your values. For me, I like children. I enjoy playing and learning with them, sharing my stories, looking at this incredible world, and I really hope that they can contribute to the world in the future. I'm pro babies.
Why should people have babies? Because we just love babies. They are so cute. Everyone loves babies.
First of all, I would love to be a granddad myself. If I have grandchildren, I will be very happy. Probably this is why the Chinese people believe in filial piety in the past. They believe that having children is an obligation to their family to continue their family line. Of course, I'm not so sure whether it is still valid today, but well, that's our cultural heritage.
What would I like to say to students about maybe being parents someday? From my perspective, I think you should. Because, well, after you have got kids, well, you'll understand how difficult your parents had it. And, well, it's a totally different experience and it's life-changing. Have babies!
Before you become parents, make sure you like children. Because raising a child is really, really hard work. But for me, I love it. I'm so happy to be a dad. If you do decide to have children, it will be one of the most rewarding things in your life.
It has made my life so rich. Enjoy parenthood.
First of all, congratulations! You make a wonderful choice. This would be your biggest adventure that you could have in your whole life.
Wow, they're actually quite hopeful. And it's totally true that, historically speaking, bust or down years in the trend,
like the fewest babies per woman,
and followed by booms when there is a huge change in the trend and population skyrockets into a time of growth and prosperity.
like what always seems to happen after wars.
When people get happy again, get married, fall in love,
And start having babies because there is hope again after crisis.
Will that happen in Hong Kong? A ton of people left Hong Kong before 1997. Then many came back when things weren't as bad as they thought they would be.
Will all those leaving us now eventually return in a handful of years?
Once all the difficulties of these past 3 years are but memories,
Will we eventually see a baby boom in Hong Kong?
Are we the ones who will be parents in the next baby boom cycle?
Will we get Hong Kong back up to a healthy 2.1 children per woman?
Will our children need closed schools to open again? These are huge questions.
Go ahead and discuss them in your class.
Talk about having hope.
You may be discouraged right now.
And not be able to see a bright future at this present time. But there's always hope.
There's always tomorrow.
The sun always rises for a new day.
So now, at the end of this episode and year,
Remember the school theme. Count your blessings.
Appreciate the now.
be grateful
See the positive.
Share your joy.
and choose happiness.
Thanks for watching and see you next year.
Oi.